Hey Zolivers, this is SuperZomGBBQ, and today it's time to talk about the one, the only, the man who made hell freeze over this last weekend. Didn't ever think I'd be saying this, not at least anytime soon. CM Punk in WWE games, WWE in general, and my mind is blown. I still can't believe it. I still have to pinch myself. I watched not just Survivor Series but Raw last night, and I still can't believe my eyes. Pepsi Phil, CM Punk is in WWE, which means it's not going to be long, probably, until you see him in SuperCard. And it might be shorter than you think, but I put an asterisk at the end there. Why? Well, I'm about to explain to you in the video. Before we get started though, it's a video about CM Punk in WWE games in general. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea or cup of coffee or cup of chocolate. He's not always the top dog for everyone. Some people don't like him. Yeah, I get that. There is one thing that he is: money. I'm just gonna say it. Hit the like button with a GTS. There you go. Done. And I want a comment from you down below whilst we're watching the video. What version of CM Punk do you want to see first? So let's get to the point about the games, because I know you guys are probably thinking, guy, dude, talk about CM Punk, talk about SuperCard, talk about WWE games. So when should you expect to see him? Well, let's start off with the big thing, and that is merchandise rights. You gotta get the rights to put CM Punk on something. You can't just go, whack, there's CM Punk. I'm gonna set it because Phil Brooks is probably gonna go, excuse me, where's my money? I mean, he said last night on Raw,
I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money.
And WWE are the same. They're gonna want a slice of the pie which you are serving if you go and use his image. So you've got to get the rights to it. Now the good news is that not just WWE and Phil Brooks, Pepsi Phil, whatever you want to call him, CM Drunk, Chris Jericho did that amazing storyline. I love that. But another company that is not afraid of money is 2K Games. Take-Two Interactive are one of the biggest publishers in the world. GTA. They own 2K Games, NBA 2K, WWE 2K, My Faction. Do I need to go any further? It's not a negative thing to say companies like money. And that means that merchandise-wise, they're going to want to get CM Punk out there as soon as possible. Hence why, even though the deal to get CM Punk through the door literally happened the day of Survivor Series, if we're believing all the sources, you could buy a Survivor Series War Games t-shirt of the WWE shop immediately. There was shirts the next night on Raw in the merchandise stands as you went to the show. These guys don't mess around. Evidence of them not messing around in the past, and SuperCard wanted to get ahead of the trend, is going to be found in the likes of Matt and Jeff Hardy when they came back, Bray Wyatt with The Fiend, and various of the many returning names, the likes of Braun Strowman, Nia Jax. Just a couple of examples of people who will show up in SuperCard almost immediately. It's much easier to get a picture on a card and get access to, animating a finisher and the sound effects, etc., than it is to do something like 2K are going to have to do for 2K24. But unfortunately, one of the examples I gave does have, unfortunately, a bad example of SuperCard getting things quickly. And that is, unfortunately, the late, great Bray Wyatt. He returned to WWE back last year before his unfortunate death earlier this year, and Wyndham never actually managed to return to SuperCard. Now, whether that's going to change in the future, I mean, WWE just agreed a new deal for merchandise stuff with his family, but even with WWE 2K, it was shrouded in mystery until it was announced, and then he disappeared. Now we know the reason why he disappeared. It was illness related, but it seems that getting him into anything like the games was quite difficult. And sometimes we'll never know the reason why. The uber example, on the other hand, is Cody Rhodes, and that's where I think CM Punk's going to be treated very similarly to him. The reason why is very simple. They've come from another company. Well, kinda. AEW didn't renew Cody Rhodes' contract, and CM Punk, well, that's a very messy subject I don't want to get into. But yes, they both came from AEW, basically, and they both come to WWE, and one in great circumstances, it just happened, and blah. One in not so great circumstances. Being able to immediately put that big new acquisition, the new fresh shiny toy, front and center of all of your products, they're gonna want to do that pretty quick. And Cody Rhodes is like the mega example of, they got him to the game as soon as he possibly could. He was like the #1 person who was being searched for outside of Bray Wyatt for WWE 2K23. Everyone was waiting for his entrance, for his model, for his moves, and I can't see CM Punk being treated much differently. Punk for the WWE 2K game should be almost a nailed down thing. As long as there's no legal issues, it should be easily done. I would almost guarantee you it's going to be either the first DLC or it's going to be what they did with The Fiend Bray Wyatt, have it as DLC but like a pre-order bonus. So part of the pre-order bonus was you got the DLC guaranteed even if you didn't buy the season pass. I would imagine he is getting calls left, right and center about getting scanned for this, scanned for that, having your pictures taken. Everything's going to be going crazy at the moment. So as business sense goes, it's gotta happen. He's going to be in the next game. He's got to be DLC or a pre-order bonus because otherwise they don't make extra money off of it, which makes total sense for it to be a Bray Wyatt Fiend situation where he is available, but you have to pay a little bit more to get him or buy the season pass. It just makes sense. You're gonna probably want to get merch out for him, and that will be part of that merchandise. But if you want him in your 2K game, you're probably gonna have to pay some money. I don't want to even think about the possibility of him being exclusive to my faction. That would just be ick. Not because I don't like my faction, I'm just thinking the reaction to it would be very, very nasty. But I could also see them putting him in my faction first. I know that sounds crazy, but it would be an easy way to get the model out there, to get the gameplay out there for people to use whilst they still work on things like the entrance and whatnot, or they could do it purely for monetary reasons. It would suck. I don't like anything being locked behind paywalls, but that is the nature of games nowadays. As for SuperCard, well, it could easily look like this, which is a personal reconstruction. I actually made this myself of the event card to show CM Punk. But to give you a couple of other examples, he could easily have throwback cards or an entire Twitch Drops event dedicated to him. But honestly, my first guess is that he will be part of a massive event where the end goal is to get a CM Punk, but is going to cost, again, a pretty penny. I don't think it'll be put as a special edition card immediately because those usually, unless you're talking about something like the WWESuperCard event, which we're currently in at the moment, those you can buy or you can get them for free using the egg collectibles. I could definitely see him doing something with CM Punk with like a microphone for a pipe bomb or whatever. But with regards to this one, I think it's going to be one of those where the first card is a ranked event card, saying for Last Man Standing or Clash of Champions between him and John Cena. Man, that would blow my mind. On that subject, by the way, I need to grab myself a Crucible card. I've got myself an F3 of the gobbledygooker. Now I'm going to get myself a brand new Crucible card. Mention this is actually a second pro because, yeah, cards are easier to come by when you get to the top level of the game. That's all I'm going to say, but I'm very happy about that. But like with Cody Rhodes and The Fiend in the past, the second that first card is out the gate, expect to have a swarm of old school CM Punk. You've got an entire history of this guy. I mean, yes, you're going to miss out on the Ring of Honor, the TNA stuff, because unfortunately AEW own that and that will never get into WWE's hands ever. You've got an entire run of his ECW run, Straight Edge Superstar. You've got the Nexus run. I mean, you've even got his Masks run as part of the Straight Edge Society. You've got his Best in the World run, which is his most famous one. You've got his 434-day title reign one when he was with Paul Heyman, and then eventually dethroned by The Rock. And you've got his return one, which is what I based this card on. There's just so many different options, and you could easily have an event where they do, like they did with John Cena a long time ago, an Eras of Punk event would be fantastic. Something you could easily do for, say, Twitch Drops or a collectible event. Something with QR codes. Guaranteed free version. The content options are absolutely unlimited. That could happen as easy as Christmas, as long as Royal Rumble tier, or whatever the hell's gonna come up. But if I was a betting man, I would imagine that by the beginning of 2024, Punk Man should be making his way to the game really soon. But bear this in mind, we always have the example of Bray Wyatt. It may not happen. He may not have a merchandise deal that allows him to be put into different games at different times, but I really hope so, and I'll tell you the reason why. It's a bit of a personal one for me, and this is that SuperCard first began just after CM Punk left WWE the first time. Their timelines are almost like a month apart, so I wouldn't put the idea that there was a card ready waiting for him and then he got released so they had to replace it with someone else as too far-fetched. Obviously after that, well, until now, it's not been possible. There was no way he was ever going to agree to a Legends or a Hall of Fame thing up until this point. And now he's back, and it's kind of poetic that we started a brand new season, the 10th season of SuperCard. We never got the chance for this to happen. Snatched from the game as it was about to go live, but now it's a reality. So it'd be pretty awesome to be able to start that new era, shall we say, on both sides, having him in this game. And regarding 2K24, you know the moment he's announced that game is going to sell like hotcakes, so my faction exclusive, please don't pelt me with tomatoes for that. I'm sorry. Anyway, my name's been SuperZomGBBQ. You have been awesome, but I'm glad I can finally just talk to you guys about it, because this is a really big deal and something that I know they're going to want to get sorted, and I also know that you guys are going to want as soon as possible. I can already imagine that every event card that gets announced from now until forever, if it's not CM Punk, it's going to be a disappointment. Unfortunately, games don't work like that. Sorry, but hopefully it'll be real soon. Now, I just need to give a small shout out to my good friend Deej, who, whilst I was recording this video, released this on his own YouTube channel. So go check him out. Link's going to be in the description and is going to be just up there in the top right hand corner. Give his opinion, his point of view, and he is actually a 2K Next maker, officially partnered with the publishers of the game. So take that for what you will, but it's a different point of view, a different perspective to mine. Go check it out. But look after yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
It's so far away.